Hello, my name is Courtney Floor. This is my first project for ECS 510. I'm gonna share my screen. And I'm going to, okay. So let's talk about the learning cycle. So first we have pre-assessment and standard alignment. This is what's seeing what the teachers, what the students initially know about the subject and what for sure needs to be taught so that it can align and with state international standards on the grade level. And that there's instructional strategies. These are strategies and practice allow students to become independent learners on the subject at hand. This is where the lesson plan comes into play. This is where the teacher is actually instructing the lesson, teach the students how to do this, what they need to learn, and then making sure they can do it independently. They learned everything. And then we'll have assessments where it's formative and submissive. A formative is an informal check-in to see what the students are comprehending and learning about the subject at hand. This can be like an activity. This can be a little worksheet. This can be like a craft that has to do with it, has to do with the lesson. And then submissive is a formal check-in, like a test, a paper, a project, to see how the student has learned the info on the subject at hand in the unit or lesson. And then we'll review the assessment data. This is to make sure all the students learned everything that they need to be taught. And if anything needs retaught. If there's something that some students aren't comprehending, we'll have to pull them into groups. And this is the next part, reteaching. It allows a teacher to reteach the part or the whole lesson sometimes when they need to learn a portion or some of the lesson. And then the reflection, this is usually what the teacher thought worked best, what didn't work, what activities worked for the kids, what didn't work, what allowed them to be able to do it independently, different things like that. And then, yeah, and then scaffold instruction. This is when when you slowly guide students through the practice so that they will be able to do the activity and know the entire lesson independently. This also includes initial assessment of the students' prior knowledge and checking in on the students' growth throughout the lesson and at the end of the lesson. So there's that. And then I'm going to talk about the College of Education lesson plan template. So I'm just going to pretend I'm filling it out. So my name's Courtney Floor. Let's say I'm teaching, let's go with preschool. I love preschool. You put the date in. Let's teach ELA. So the instruction plan title, that would be, let's say you're teaching basic counting. That's not ELA, but we can type in math. And you might be teaching like counting to 100 to your preschoolers. Let's say that. Lesson summary and focus. So this would be like, you start with maybe getting them to know 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then teaching them the in-betweens, like you could teach them fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. So those could be different units. You could group the students by students who know more numbers than others, or you could put some of the students that know their numbers well with students that don't know their numbers well. And whenever you get them counting, they would be the leaders. And then you got to make sure you're aligning with state and national and state learning standards. There's various different ones for various different age groups, grade level, depending on the subject, depending on your state, and then the specific learning targets. So this could be that they learn, make sure. Usually most preschoolers know 1 through 10. And so if you're trying to teach 1 through 100, you might want to have learning target as learning 1 through 30, then learning 30 through 60, then learning 60 through 90, and then 90 through 100. However you want to do it, you got to make sure you know who the audience is. How you're going to do this, you could put numbers around around your classroom, however you want to do it. Academic language, that can be knowing, like if we're teaching them 1 through 100, you need to know the ones column and the tens column. That's what type of academic language you would need to know. So any academic vocabulary that you remember. If you're teaching ELA, you might need to know context clues, some words like that, different things like that. So resources, materials, equipment, and technology. So maybe there's a game that teaches kids how to count from 1 to 100. Have them play that game. Maybe there's some type of craft you're going to do after you've taught them 1 through 100. Help them help them through it. Maybe you're going to create flashcards as they count, or once they're all done, you'll show them, say you show them the number 51. They've got to say back to you, that number is 51. That's kind of more advanced stuff, but once you get them through the whole 1 through 100, they've got to be able to tell you what's that number, different things like that. An anticipatory set, that's getting the attention of the students, attention grabber, different things like that. Multi-means of representation, that is different ways to connect with the children on their learning style or what they know about the subject. This could be, or maybe there's a student that you have that their primary language is Spanish and they don't know English very well. So you've got to adapt to them. Different things like that. Multi-means of engagement. Some kids learn through visuals, some kids learn through auditory stuff. It just depends. That's what you need to do here. Multi-means of expression. This could be how the students express to you guys, to the teacher, what they've learned. So through a project, a paper, a test, an activity, a craft that has to do with the lesson, anything like that. It helps us express. An extension, this could be homework. This could be an activity, a craft, like I said, that just helps along with the lesson and gets everything flowing. So that's basically all I have. I'm going to go over some kindergarten standards in my state. So this is computer science. I'm gonna see. Yeah, let's go to ELI. So different things like asking questions and being able to answer the question, retelling stories, identifying characters. All that can be done through a book or anything like that. And that can be done through that lesson plan. Um, I'll show you one in math. There's financial literacy. So this could be through playing store with the kids, different things like that. There's fine arts. I'm not going to go through that. There's math. So this is just the problem solving, being able to reason abstractly and quantitatively, whatever. There's more. 10 to precision, and counting to 100 by ones and by tens. That's one of the standards. That's one of them we just talked about. Counting forward with the 100 beginning with any number given other than 1. So that's an important one to do in kindergarten. Physical education, I'm not going to do. And science, so weather, different things like that, living things. It says so traits and characteristics, different things like that. History, social studies. Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know what happened. So there's social studies. So time, models and maps. I think the next two are technology, world languages. I'm not going to focus on that. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is assessment data, and how it relates to the lesson plan. So first you want to start with your pre-assessment, and that's when you want to see what the children initially know. After you teach the lesson, you want to do more assessments to see what they learn, what they don't know, what you've taught them and they need retaught, different things like that. All that comes into the lesson plan, and to make sure that is part of it. And whatever the students aren't comprehending, you may need to reteach it, different things like that. That's basically all I have to say, and thanks for watching.